Hello?
Jason?
Yes, sir.
Yes, good afternoon. This is Coach Tommy Amaker calling from Harvard Basketball.
Hi, Coach. How are you?
I'm well. Did I catch you at a bad time?
Nope, this is perfect.
Great.
Thank you for taking just a couple minutes with me.
My pleasure.
My first question for you is, would you say you learned more from your time at Duke as a player or a member of the coaching staff, and why?
You know, it's a good question, and I think it's, I wish I could say one versus the other, but if I had to choose, you know, it would be probably just from the sheer fact that I was a coach longer than I was a player. But I do think that you learn a lot about a program and obviously a profession and an institution and all the things that go into, you know, when you're a student athlete, because you see it through a different lens, and then if you're part of the coaching staff, part of the staff, or you know, part of the colleagues there who, you know, help teach and lead, you know, a program or be a part of a community there as an adult, you know, it's a different perspective that you get. So I think you learn many things and many lessons, but just for the fact that I was there for 8 years, you know, as an assistant coach versus 4 as a player, I would hope that I learned more than 8 years and maybe that I did in the 4. But you learn different things, and I think they're equally as valuable on both sides.
All right. What was the best piece of advice you were given when you left for Seton Hall?
It was very simple, and I always remember this, and I utilize this with many other situations that I've come in, you know, in contact with, or other people that I've had the chance to be a part, you know, with help them and their journeys. But the piece of advice that Coach K told me when I was leaving to become the youngest head coach, you know, in the history of the Big East Conference, which was a little terrifying, to be honest with you. But he told me to be myself. And I always remember that, because I was looking for something more, you know, do this, do that, don't do this, don't do that. And,
right.
And it was an amazing piece of advice, because it showed me how much he had confidence in me. And that's where I took it, and that's where he meant it. Is that, you know, go be yourself, like you're, just do what you do and be who you are, and it's going to be just fine. And he didn't use all those extra words that I just mentioned, but when he just said be yourself, I knew what he meant, and that gave me an incredible amount of confidence when he told me that at the age of 31. So I was made me feel pretty darn good, you know, and that's something that was a tremendous piece of advice that he gave to me then, that I try to give out to others in similar situations that occur.
Good. In what ways did your time at Duke influence how you now run a program, both on the court and off?
Well, I think the way that he's always developed his program and his teams is that, you know, you talk about having a sense of accountability. You talk about responsibility with him. You know, and those things can go a long, long way. That's in the classroom. That's, you know, what your job is on the court, what your role is. And so, you know, he was clear about those things, how he communicated. And so running a program, you know, and building it with those kind of values at the very beginning, you know, to build something that was going to be long-lasting, it was going to be worthwhile, it's going to be meaningful, it's going to be built on probably some tremendous values. And so we try to emulate that. We try to incorporate those same kinds of thoughts, you know, the standards, you know, that were always set, you know, in the program. There was a high level of standard that he demanded, and certainly that's the way he's lived his life, and he was an example of that at the very beginning. You know, the way he conducted himself and how he coached and taught us, there was a high level of standard there. And so we've tried to do that at every place that we've been, and you know, only he can do it as well as he's done it, and that's evidenced by as many wins and championships and people that he's turned out and all the wonderful things that he's been able to accomplish. So, but I do think that that's a guiding force of the standards and the values that he set forth in day one, and how you want to build a program, run a program, and certainly how you want to coach your team.
Would you say your time at Duke influences you more now than your time at Seton Hall or Michigan?
You know, they all influenced every place that I've been. I've been influenced, not just as a coach, but as a man. In terms of teaching, leading, and serving, I refer to those three words as something that I think that he has done as well as anyone can possibly do. And so, the influence is wide, it's broad, it's and it's just not governed by the 94 by 50 dimension of a basketball court. That's the beauty of being a part of his program and being under his guidance, is that it means much more than winning a game. We certainly do that, and he's done it as evidenced by getting close to 1,000 victories. But it goes beyond that, and I think that's the beauty of what's made it so meaningful to a lot of people, because you recognize the lessons that have come through those times of growing and preparing and winning, losing, having fun, all the things that come with being on a team in a program, and as one as great as his and as great as he is.
What do you think it is about Coach K that leads his former players to want to join his staff and eventually become head coaches themselves?
Well, I think we've been lucky. I know I was, one of the earlier ones that has kind of started that, being a former player for him and coaching there. You recognize how fortunate you are to get that opportunity, because it's not afforded every day. And certainly as the program has grown and where it is now, to get an opportunity like that is literally a chance of a lifetime. And so I was, all of us would probably say how lucky, we are and we were to be afforded that opportunity, because it's not like he's in a shortage for people who would like to work for him. So I think it's been a neat thing for us who've been interested in this as a profession and teaching and coaching and leading. For all of us who have done it and been interested in it. I mean, it's we've been very, very lucky to have gotten our start, with him and for him, and in a place that you believe in, a place that you played, and so there's a lot of neat things that come with that, but also a lot of responsibility comes with it, and I think he'd be the first to say that.
I got one more question for you, Coach. Do you keep in touch with or keep an eye on how the other former players that are now coaches are doing? And if so, how do you
definitely keep an eye on it. It's harder, as we all know, to stay in touch on a regular basis during the season, because of everybody's just you're engulfed with your team and your program and all that comes with that. And I think we all know that it's a full plate.
Oh, sure.
So while we're in touch, of course, but more so, certainly, for me, keeping an eye and rooting from a distance at all times, I think that goes without saying.
How do you see the Duke influence in their programs?
How they're doing right now, you see it with how they're winning. They all have done a tremendous job, at all the places that, these guys are, and the guys that I played with and some that I helped, coach and see what they're doing and how they're doing it. You're excited for them, proud of them, and we all recognize it all was funneled back to the man, and that's where it should be.
Coach, I really appreciate your time, and I wish you the best of luck in the Ivy League this year.
Jason, thanks, buddy. Take care. Bye now.
Bye-bye.